Today we're going to talk about annotated bibliographies and taking notes. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go to the CHS library website. You can get there by following the URL on the screen, bit.ly// capital C, capital H, capital S, lowercase library, bit.ly/CHS library. When you get there, you're going to see this screen right here. So first of all, I want to point out that on the left, there is a link for video tutorials. When I click video tutorials, it's going to pull up several tutorials that could help you throughout the process of writing your research assignment. So first of all, there are 4 video tutorials over the note-taking tools I'm going to talk to you about. There's Scribble for annotating, note-taking, and citing. Scribble is one tool we're going to talk about. Digo is another tool we'll talk about, and the video is called Using Digo. Another tool we'll talk about is Linoit. So there's Linoit for research. And then the 4th tool we're going to talk about is Google Docs. So I have Using Google Docs for research note-taking. So again, these 4 videos are on the library website under the link Video Tutorials. There's also other videos on this page that will help you tremendously for this assignment. First of all, there's an academic essay format video that's going to show you how to format your essay using MLA. There's a parenthetical documentation, embedding notes, and paraphrasing video. So it's going to help you use MLA within the essay to make sure you're paraphrasing and embedding correctly and citing those sources. There's also a tutorial over using advanced search and subject headings in a database. So when you're finding research in the databases, it helps you, if you feel like you can't find what you're looking for, it helps you narrow down your search to find information that will help you. Okay, so those are the video tutorials. The next thing I'm going to show you is an actual research guide I put together for this assignment. So we're going to go to Research Guides over here on the left, and you're going to go down to English 4 and choose Current Events paper. For this project, Documentary Film Research Essay, you are going to be creating a research paper discussing your point of view on the topic from either Gasland, which was fracking, or Sicko, which is the healthcare crisis. So the first thing you're going to need to do is research your topic. So I've listed here on this page several items that will help you with that. I have databases listed where you have Opposing Viewpoints and Sears Issues Researcher, both of which are going to provide you with the pro and con on both of these topics. And then EBSCOhost, ProQuest, and Gale that will give you additional information once you've chosen your side in order to support your point of view. GVRL and ProQuest ebook are next. These are online ebooks that people can look at simultaneously and have unlimited usage on. So if you're looking for a book resource, these online books could also help you. They're also accessed through Mac and VIA. You could use print books that are actually in the library, and I've linked the card catalog for you so you can look up whether your topic is in the library. You could use websites outside of the databases, and I've reminded you of what you need to do to determine if a website is reputable or not. And then I've given you actual research search engines, ones that are not going to give you blogs or Wikipedia as a search result, but instead will give you reputable sources of information. So starting with these, you're going to conduct your search. So you're going to go to Mac and VIA, you're going to make sure you have Centennial High School listed, and then you're going to use your regular ADS login information. So that means your ID number and then your regular password. From there, you're going to choose those items that I had listed: Opposing Viewpoints, Sears, EBSCO, ProQuest, or Gale. So we can click Databases. And there's EBSCOhost. Load more. Opposing Viewpoints. ProQuest. So you can see that you can find them, Sears Issues Researcher. and you're going to conduct your search from there. Make sure that when you are searching that you actually click Open Now to open the database, and then you're ready to search. So I'm going to go EBSCOhost web and type in my search terms, choose a database. You can type in additional search terms if you would like. So I got over 16,000 hits. You can narrow down over here and choose more current information. So maybe I want things that are just within the last few years. And I can also, so that's already narrowed it down. Go ahead and narrow it down more. So now I've only got items from the last 3 years, so I'm down to less than 8,000, so I halved it. You can also go ahead and choose just items in a particular type of resource. So for example, maybe I want just academic journals. If I do that, I narrow it down to 479. If I then decide, let's look at our subjects here, I want just hydraulic fracking, I've now narrowed it down to 53. So you can see how using these items on the side will narrow it down more and more. In the databases, don't forget that you can cite your source. All of them have a cite button that you can choose, and then it'll cite your source for you. So we're going to find MLA, there it is, and we can copy and paste that onto our citation page. Now, in order to cite your sources, the next item that's on the list is MLA formatting, and it tells you how to do an annotated bibliography. For an annotated bibliography, we're going to look at this example here. You have that citation that you could copy and paste from your database. And then underneath that you have a paragraph. That paragraph should summarize the information from the article and then give a sentence or two explanation of how you plan to use the information from the article in your research paper to prove the point of view that you chose. Okay, so you should have the citation and then a paragraph summary with justification of how you're going to use that research. You're going to alphabetize your citation page. And you're also going to make sure that you have that hanging indent. Okay. If it is not a database and you need to cite your source, you could use easybib.com to help you with your website citations. Below there is information that will help you once you write your essay. So we're going to skip that for now. And we're going to talk about note-taking. As you are finding the items that you want to use for your essay, or you think you might want to use them, you need to take notes. So the first thing that you're going to do is decide how you want to take notes. So I'm going to give you a couple options here. You could use Google Docs. For Google Docs, you'll simply go to your Google account. Open up Drive or Documents and create a document. On that page, you're going to go ahead and list, this is source number 1 that I'm looking at. I color code my sources just so they're easy to find. Then you're going to write your notes. So type your notes here. You're going to want to include your citation. The reason that you include your citation when taking notes is so you don't have to go back and re-research and find that item again if you decide to use the notes that you took. I also go ahead and add tags. Tags are just brief key terms to help me find that item again in my notes. So for example, maybe my key term is something about the economy or finances, because maybe fracking is really expensive or it costs money to clean up or something like that. When I'm ready for a new source, I'll do the same thing. I'll color it a different color so I know that it's a new source. And then I'll take notes and do my citation and do my tags again. Maybe the tag on this one is environment because it's talking about the cost to the environment. And I'll keep going for all my sources. Now when I'm ready to write my paper, I can click Control F on my keyboard and get this little find, and I can just look up particular keywords. So maybe the topic that I'm looking up for this paragraph happens to be the economics or the finances. I type finances and it will find every single time I tagged something finances so that I know that I have notes there I could use to support that particular paragraph over finances. So that's Google Docs. And of course you're going to want to name your Google Doc something that you'll remember what it was. If you want to take notes in Linoit, which is listed next, Linoit, the way that would look is you'll go to Linoit, L-I-N-O-I-T, and you're going to choose to sign in with Google. It likes Google, so it'll sign in directly using that. This is not a research source per se, but we can use it that way. So we're going to click Log In. And we're going to choose Google so it logs in with our Google account. There we go. Give me an error for a second for some reason, but usually it goes straight in like this. It logged in with Google. You'll click Create a New Canvas. You're going to choose whatever background you want. You're going to name it. You're going to show stickies, and you'll click Create Canvas. Now, my sources I use a color for. So for example, if this is my first source, I'm going to put a citation for it. Then I'm going to take all the notes that I want on the same color. I can also go ahead and add tags. So economic, for example. And then maybe this next source, I have a new color so that I know that anything in green is from that particular source. And maybe this one is environmental factors. And I'm going to keep going like that. Once I've got all my sources and all my notes, I can use this to help me as I organize these notes as well. So for example, I'm going to put a header for economic because one of my paragraphs is going to be about the economic factors related to fracking. I'm also going to have a paragraph about the environmental factors. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my sources underneath those. So this one would go with economic, this one would too, this one would help me with environmental. And then based on the colors that I use in my paragraphs, I know which citations to include on my Works Cited page. So that's Linoit. Now if you want to use Scribble, you go S-C-R-I-B-L-E and you click Sign In, and you're going to sign in with Google. You're going to go to Tools, and you're going to install the Scribble toolbar. And you'll get a little red and white S in the upper right-hand corner. Once you do that, whenever you find information you think you could use, for example, this one over fracking, there we go. You'll click the Scribble extension. So now you can highlight and do other items on this page. So let's say we hit the highlighter here. We can highlight anything we want to. We can also take notes. Let's say we want to take a note here. We can also underline. You could strike through something. You could share it with somebody. So you have several options here of things that you can do, and it will save the entire page here. If I go back to the Scribble library now, this is now saved in my library, and anytime I click on it, it will open it back up for me to view. The great thing about Scribble is it has now saved this as a PDF for me. With anything else, if you try to save this article that was in the database, it will not save it for you. You can't just copy the URL of something from a database and expect it to stay. So if I copy this URL right here, when I go home, it's going to tell me I have to log in. So what Scribble does is create a permanent link so it will always go there and show you what you highlighted and you noted with no problems. Otherwise, you'd have to go back to Mac and VIA and you'd have to redo your search and find that article again. So that's one reason to go ahead and use Scribble. Scribble also works with websites. So let's say I looked up fracking and its impact on the environment. And of course, I used my good searching strategies to decide that perhaps this .org would be better than a blog, for example. So on this page, I again will click Scribble once it pulls up. And my toolbar is there at the bottom. So again, I can highlight, I can choose different colors too if I want to highlight using something else. I can change color of text, so you do have a few more options if it's a website versus a database citation. I can add italics. And the other option it has, since this is a website, databases give you your citation as I showed you. Websites don't, but if you click the little quotes, it will now cite this page for you. And just like EasyBib, it highlights in pink anything you need to fill in yourself because it wasn't able to find that. So you can fill it in. And now when I go to Scribble, I have this website listed there as well. And again, if I click on it, it goes straight back to the website and it shows me my highlighting and my notes and so forth, just like I had it on the page. So that one is Scribble. The other one I mentioned is Diigo, and it works just like Scribble but with a few less options. So for example, if I go to Diigo, I'm going to sign in. I'm going to use my Google, of course. I'm going to go to Tools, just like I did on Scribble, and I'm going to install the Diigo extension. This one will look like a little blue and white D in the corner once it's installed. So when I go to my website, There we go. I click my Digo extension. And I'm going to annotate the article. So I can highlight. I can take notes. And it will save it in Digo just like it saved it in Scribble. So when I go to Digo and I go to my library, I've got that website there showing what I had highlighted. It will not cite the source for you like Scribble does, and it doesn't let you do some of the other things like change the color of the words or italicize or underline the words or anything like that. But it's another resource if you would like to use that. So those are the 4 note-taking tools that I would recommend so that you can keep all of those items in order that you choose to use for your annotated bibliography. If you ever have any questions about research or about any of these tools, please come see me in the library. Thanks.